Okay, so it's recess time for me. I'm doing a lot of primary research for getting ready for PhD and other stuff, other publications and bits and pieces. So I always, and because most of the demographics that come on a Monday evening are the maturer, they have family commitments, school holidays, recess, and so on, etc. So I find the numbers drop off very, very quickly in June because the grandparents are on holiday and then the parents and the children are on holiday. So it's about an 8 week period, which I then cram in all my things that I like to do over the year. They get stored up for these 8 weeks. But as I put in my recess email to everybody, I will drop in and offer sessions and so on. And people that are members on the Monday, they've got their weekly 20 minutes, etc., and so on that they can just book. So this is one of those random. If you need help, just ask. So as I said to Joan beforehand, try and trip me up, test my knowledge. If there's something you need help with, whether it's Lightroom or Lightroom Classic, I will do my best to help you over these period of our recess. So who wants to go first? Go on, Joe.
I'm still having problems syncing with the phone and finding my phone pictures in Lightroom Classic. And then uh, should I should I store the photos I'm working on? Should I actually move them to my hard drive or not? So I don't have a conception on how to deal with my phone. And most of my pictures these days are coming through the phone. So that's an issue for me.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so first thing, ideally you should be doing is choosing your destination where you want your cloud images, because it doesn't necessarily have to be a phone. It can be a tablet. It can be your camera sync to your phone or a device, or it could be your camera in a alien computer. So that could be a hotel, it could be a cruise liner, it could be just a web browser somewhere else, or you're visiting family. So everything outside Classic that you're using the internet to import your images will follow this workflow. So there's several ways that you can choose the location. So if we come to the top right hand corner and click on the cloud and then click on the cog, which is preferences, and it'll open up Lightroom Sync, which I'm on a Mac. It'll be under Lightroom and preferences. If you come the top left hand corner and down, it'll open up the last tab that you opened. If you go via the cloud and the cog, it'll open up on Lightroom Sync. Now, choosing the location, it's the second and third tick box down. It actually says location and specific location where the images are going to go to. So it's when you connect to the internet and they come down, and you hit choose and you go and choose the Explorer or Finder, create a folder, and where do you want to put them? Okay, so that is literally it. And I have them in a folder. I'll go Lightroom support. I think it's Lightroom support training. And then I have a folder here called cloud. Now this drive, this is what I found with best practice. This drive is permanently connected. It's not a detachable drive, because if that drive is not connected, when you power up Classic, it'll go back to its default, which is in the pictures or photos location. So by putting it either on your C drive or a drive that's permanently connected, it'll always stay in this location. So there's the location, just hit the choose. So anything that you import via the cloud, so as I said, that could be your phone, a tablet, It could be a camera that you're using on a web browser or on Lightroom on a laptop or any device that they're going up to the cloud and syncing back. This is where they'll go. Then the next text box is if you want to either put them all together, you would have that unticked, so you'd have a mass load of images, or you can split them up into the same filing structure as import. So this is my workflow. I have year, month, and day. So the date of capture, it'll create a folder, and it'll go into that folder in this format that's here. And as you can see up here, 2027, there's the image and there's the date that it was taken. If I had lots of other images, that's what it'll appear, and it's in my classic catalog. Okay, and that is the same format. If I hit import, and then I show just destination, it's the same format that's here. So year, month, date, and I use a minus to separate them. You could use /, you could choose whatever, but so it's a repetitive visual format, which is the same. Okay, Jay?
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
That was interesting actually, because that's why I came in tonight. I've had to relink all my Creative Cloud because I took your advice and got a cheap deal on Amazon, and I had to start a new
new account,
subscription or whatever. So my iPhone photos used to just sync back to my Mac, but I can't. I've sort of reinstalled everything on my iPhone, and it just doesn't seem to want to do it for some reason. I don't know why.
Okay, let me just see if I can join into. So this is a separate catalog. So okay. So this is a separate catalog, so the images will look differently. But if you hit down the bottom, you've got device. Now those bottom left-hand corner, it says device. Those are the images that are in your photos on your phone.
Yeah.
So you're looking locally.
Yeah.
Press the iPhone Lightroom, which is in the middle.
Yeah.
That is the images that are in the cloud. Okay, in Lightroom. Okay, so to import, top right-hand corner, click on the 3 dots, and you come to app settings, and then it's got import, and then you can select photo, screenshot, and videos, add your copyright. So you turn on the appropriate, so I've got photos and videos, it'll automatically import them. So if
I've done that, but it doesn't seem to sync to my Mac. So it's going up to Lightroom, but it's not then going back to my Mac.
Okay.
Before.
So they're going up into the cloud, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So what the first thing you need to do is, because you've now got 2 accounts or whatever, make sure that your Mac is logged into the new account. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
So what I would check firstly is go to lightroom.adobe.com.
Yeah.
And look at it as a web browser. And what you're now doing is you're looking at the images that are in the cloud. What we're trying to do is we're trying to work out where the bit that's going wrong. So are you uploading them incorrectly? So your phone is logged into its old account, for example. Okay, so you're testing the phone is gone up to the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then if that's okay, so all the pictures are in the cloud in a web browser, then it's the connection from Classic to the cloud. So, and how we check that is if we click on the cog And we have down here, we have our settings, and we have our ID here. And this is where you need to make sure this is your new account name. Okay. So whatever you've logged in with the your new email address.
Yeah, I've got a new email address.
Yeah, that's it. So that's that. So that should be the same. If that's all working, then that should be it. Little tips. There are some new, there were some bugs in 13.2. If you go to the cloud, click on the clock, hold down the option key, you've got now some additional buttons here. View synced images on the web, but you get rebuild sync database. So if you hit there, it will run through and it's going to resync the database for the cloud. Okay. So it's going to get rid of all the cache and things like that and so on. And it's going to refresh that. It's not going to refresh your catalog. It's just going to refresh the database, the sync database. And I'm just going to try and find you quickly a blog post that I wrote. I'll put it in the chat because there was a, there we go, troubleshooting 13.3 and later. So let's go back to there. Let's open the chat. And I've just put in the link for everybody on my blog, Lightroom support. It'll tell you little tricks and so on works around at the moment, especially 13.4, they're going to sort that out. So Callum has asked, how do we archive this art effect, hiding the background and the haze? So let's look at the picture you've done. So
I'm trying to get the effect from a long exposure photograph where the sort of milky sea extends up into the sky and you lose the background, so you get a kind of art photograph where you don't have that defined background. It's all just lost in the mist and the haze.
okay, so you're trying to get the effect on the right-hand side and the left-hand side's the original.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So and you want to then apply that to different images?
Potentially. I'm not wedded on scripting it. I'm happy to do it image by image.
So what are you meaning by the word archive then?
Achieve.
Oh, sorry, I haven't got my glasses on. And it's small, right? Yeah, all right, okay, achieve. All right, okay. I ain't got my glasses on, I apologise. Getting old, you see, old grey hair and grumpy, it's getting grey over. Okay, so let me share my screen and we'll have a discussion about this. So we're looking to do something like this.
Yeah.
So, okay. So firstly, Classic is allowing us to do a lot more creativity where historically we would have had to go into Photoshop. Okay. Classic is a editor where, and the way I describe it is, it's a tool that allows you to adjust what is there and not necessarily to create something that's not there. Now, that line is blurring, okay? But I would suspect that's been done with Photoshop. as a composite or as like a sky replacement tool, and so on. So we have our long exposure, and they've taken parts of the image and cloned them and manipulate them, etc. It would have been easier to do that in Photoshop than in Classic, although there is now the new tool for the AI. So let me just turn the visual spots off here. We have this object selection and content aware. So when we want to remove content, we can use these two boxes here. So if I wanted to, I'm just going to show you the tool. I want to remove this child. Okay, so for example, I'm just going to draw over very, very, very loosely this child. Okay, and then I'm going to turn on object aware and the AI, and it's going to generate. Now I've got some rubbish here, which is, there we go, and that's now tidied it all up. Okay, so that is one way that you could do it in Classic, by using the erase tool with the generative AI and the selection, and draw over this area here and allow Classic and the AI to look at the image and think what it's going to do. Okay, but my suspicions is that's a Photoshop image, which is a manipulation. So going back to what I started with, is Classic and Lightroom are editing what is there. Yes, we can do a bit of removing. Yes, we can do a bit of this and a bit of that, but it's not a manipulation tool. So for example, sky replacement, that's a manipulation. Taking out that wheelie bin and creating what was in that wheelie bin's physical space on the image is generating new content, which is why I say that grey line is now being blurred with this new erase tool in Classic.
Got
okay,
you. Right, Tom.
So that to me is they've cut the top out. Either they've done AI or they've put a composite or something else in there. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions?
Yes, I've got a question regarding the linear gradient.
Linear gradient, yeah.
Yeah, if you're using it from the side, left to right,
yeah,
or right to left, whatever, is there a way, does it have to take up the whole of the image, or can you shorten it so it only takes up a proportion of the image?
So we're talking about, so let me, I think I know what you're referring to. So you want to create a mask, and we're going to create a linear mask, and we're going to go from the side. So hold the shift key, and you get a straight line.
Yeah.
And you mean the whole of
so I don't want to do the sky, I just want to do the sand.
Yeah, no, okay. It's the whole. It's like a graduated filter. Having a graduated filter, it's the whole part of the image. Okay. You can bring it across. Sorry,
could you intersect with the sand?
You could intersect, yes. So what you could do is you could use the intersect mask, and you could use either color. So intersect with a color range or a luminance range, that's brightness or a color, and you could take the color, and then it'll only apply that in that color area. Okay, so you could do that. So Stuart's right with that. I would. How would I do that? Yeah, let me have a think. How would I do that? So if I only wanted to do the sand, yeah, because it's a linear. Yeah, so you want to do a double mask, invert, subtract. So yeah, so the other way you could do it actually is you could subtract and then use your brush and then paint on the area. I'm just doing this really crudely.
Yeah.
So you could do it like that. So, you know, and do it that way. Never thought of doing something like this. So that would only give you the sand there in a because it's a graduated effect. If you use the brush, etc., or the object tool, it wouldn't be a graduated. So yes, there are different ways of doing it. So yeah, so you could use the intersect mask and then choose to intersect with a color or a color, so blue. But bear in mind, there's different colors of blue here.
Yeah.
Okay, or a luminance, and there's different values. It's darker at the top and lighter at the bottom. Or you could use your brush and just paint over the area.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
With auto mask, and then making sure you don't go over. So the minus, hopefully you can see the minus.
Yeah.
The minus doesn't go over the sand, but the circle can go over the sand. And wherever the value of the minus, whatever the value is of the minus, so whether inside that circle, so that minus, that value there, where the minus is, inside the inner circle. So as long as I don't take it over the sand, stays here, it will go right up to this line, and you hold your Wacom pen, because I know you've got a Wacom pen. You just go along there. Not you know, you don't have to get really close because the circle's there. It's the value, it's the light value that you're using. So you could do it that way.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Let's do that. But thank you, Stuart. I didn't, you know, Joan was testing me there. Good to think on that one. Anyone else? Any questions?
Mark, once you've imported from Lightroom into and you've opened up then the classic, and you've got your folder on your computer, and you want to put it onto your hard drive, is there a way just to drag and drop it into the hard drive folder area?
Okay, so talk me through your workflow. So you've taken some pictures on your camera.
Imported from laptop or sorry, iPad or something.
Oh, right, okay.
So it now sits in a folder on my MacBook, and I want to move it to a folder on my hard drive, remote hard drive.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same as in the operating system, and you should never do things outside of Classic because you are doing things outside the database. So this image or this folder, if I want to move this is my cloud drive. So this is what's in the cloud. If I want to move this out of the cloud, and I can just drag it and drop it there. It's already got that. It's telling me I've already got that folder. So I can just take the image and drag. I've already got that image in there. Okay, but if I wanted to take that somewhere else, let's say I'll just take it to images. That's it now. It's moved it out of the drive where it was, and it's put it there.
Right.
Okay, so it's literally drop and drag, but it will still stay in the cloud. Okay, so it should, if I've synced it, stay in the cloud. Let's have a look. Cloud, featured images, film images, recent edits as added. No, there's no images in there, so it's an old image. So so you just literally drag it, and it'll mirror it in the operating system. So if I go to right click, there it is in the operating system. So I've put them side by side. So you don't need to do anything in the operating system. If I go right click, remove, it's going to remove that, but it hasn't because I haven't deleted. I've only removed. Okay, so it's still sitting there in the operating system. Okay, remove and delete are two different things. Remove is removing it from Classic or Lightroom or a collection. Deleting is deleting it off the hard drive. Okay. Anyone else? Any questions? No?
No?
No? Okay, that's nice and simple. So we're back on, I think it's the 9th of September. I'll try and do another one of these before we come back. Monday the 9th of September is the community night. And then the half an hour is on Wednesday the 11th, is when we're back for Lightroom Shorts, which is where I go through a functionality. Over the autumn and the fall, we are looking at editing. We're going to spend 3 months in editing, looking at all the different tools. And what I've been proposing to do is we're going to look at a tool, a workflow in each of the applications. So Lightroom, Classic, Photoshop, Adobe Camera Raw, and a web browser. So, and a lot of them, once you see it once, it's a replication, but the user interface looks slightly different. So we'll look at it on a phone, on a tablet, on a browser. So you're not, it's not confusing when you get to, oh, how do I do my black and white point? Well, it's a relatively simple thing to do your black and white point, but they look slightly different in different environments. So we'll look at perhaps a couple of tasks on a Monday night over that 2-hour period, and we'll look at it in each user interface. So you go, I can do that there, or I can do that there. So rather than you're going through your workflow and you've forgotten to do something at one point and you're now in Photoshop, you could do that adjustment in Photoshop because you know where that same action is in Photoshop. Or you might do something on your tablet or a web browser in Lightroom, and you've forgotten to do something, and then it comes into Classic, you can do it in Classic. So once I explain the actual task, we'll just replicate it across the other user interfaces, which will only take a few extra minutes. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, it's lovely to see you all. I hope you're enjoying the summer. We've had a few warm days for once, and hopefully we have some more. And I'll send out another email in a week or so's time, and when I'm back from Scotland, and hopefully do another one of these before we meet up again in September. No more last questions?
No, thank you.
Okay, so this will be up on YouTube before the end of the week. Take care, everybody. Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Bye.